It is incredibly important that you believe in yourself in two specific ways. Number one, you've got to figure stuff out on your own. You got to make up your mind what you want to do, not based on what somebody on YouTube said, not based on what your partner said, or your church, or some political leader, or anything like that. You got to make up your mind based on what you think. Now, if you cut out the noise, you cut out all those things that are pointing you in one direction or the other, and then you start making up your mind what you're going to do, then you reach a conclusion. I don't know what that conclusion is, but you'll find out. And then you got to trust your judgment. You got to trust that when you figure out the best thing you know to do, you make your decision on a basis of your mind, not somebody else's. And then you trust your judgment. And sometimes you don't know if you make the right decision. And it's a lot easier to just do what somebody else thinks you should do and basically sell out. And then you can kind of trust, have faith that they are not going to steer you wrong. But the truth is they will. You got to believe in yourself. And then if you do that, you're not going to know that you made the right choice, and you very possibly didn't. That's just the truth. But you got to be okay with that. You got to trust yourself enough to stick with your guns. And when you're not sure if you made the right choice or not, you still believe in yourself. Now, that doesn't mean you don't change your mind. It doesn't mean that you don't learn from your mistakes, but you also have to have the fortitude to say, I made this decision because I really believed, based on all the information and data before me, I made the right choice. And so, therefore, I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to trust that I did. Unless something comes along to prove me otherwise, I'm going to trust. I'm going to have faith in myself in the same way that maybe I'd be tempted to believe in somebody else. I'm going to believe in myself, and I'm going to trust that my own judgment, my best judgment, isn't going to steer me wrong. That can require a lot of faith, but it's better than believing in somebody else who might steer you wrong just because it's easy to believe somebody who's convincing. But people can be wrong. Just like you can be wrong, other people and other things can be wrong. And you have to believe in yourself. And the truth is that very few people are totally, permanently done extreme amounts of damage because they believed in themselves and they made the best decision they were able to make based on their most complete available knowledge. You know, usually people don't wind up ruined by that. Even when they wind up making the wrong call, you can learn from your mistakes. They usually don't destroy you. What destroys you is when you know what you should be doing, and instead of doing it, you do something else. And the other thing that causes destruction is when you look to other people, and other people say, hey, you should be doing this. You don't really make up your own mind, you just follow the pack. The pack can be wrong. Even great minds can be wrong, and you'd be surprised how often it is that we ignore common sense because somebody said, here's a good idea, and then other people follow, and then you jump in. Because it's easy, it's comfortable. Okay. Now the other thing, on this topic of believing in yourself, there are going to be times in your life when you don't know what to do. Times in your life when you wish you had somebody to turn to. Some wise person that would just give you all the answers. And the truth is there is no recipe for life. There's nothing that's going to come and say, here's exactly what you need to do. Here's the magic ticket. But there is something you can do that'll help you think things through. And I know it helps me. Imagine that you were giving yourself advice in the third person. Imagine that you went to yourself and or maybe somebody that isn't you, but somebody like you, somebody in your exact same situation came to you and said, what should I do? And you were going to look at their situation, you were going to give them advice, And you really stand to lose nothing because you don't have any skin in the game, right? You just imagine that somebody like you happened to come to you and say, hey, this is what I got going on. What do you think I should do? What kind of advice would you give somebody like yourself? Try to separate yourself from the emotion of everything going on, all the conflict, all the fear of risk, all the self-doubt, all that stuff. And just imagine what advice would I give myself if I wasn't me? You know, that advice is probably not bad. Probably not half bad at all. You can probably trust yourself. Those are two real valuable things that you can do. You believe in yourself, but then you also kind of try to compartmentalize enough to separate yourself from all of the self-doubt and the fear, and just give an honest opinion, I guess, of yourself to yourself. Now, there's another thing I was going to talk about here, and there's two really important things that that we need to remember. Number one, you're gonna be tempted to believe that if you're patient and you wait, you're gonna miss out. And that's not true. Being patient and waiting usually does not cause you to miss out. Because if you give things time and space, good things will come to you. You don't have to force the universe to work faster because you're afraid that it won't work at all. It's kind of like a caterpillar that's living inside that cocoon. And it's in there. And nature's going to take its course, and it's going to be able to break out. You don't have to force the cocoon. You don't have to try to peel it back and help the caterpillar. See, the universe is like that cocoon, and we feel like we need to help, break out. And the universe has a plan for us in its own time. We don't have to rush it. It's like water finding its level. It's gonna find a way. It's gonna all work out to where it needs to be, and we don't have to necessarily rush things. We can be patient. There's time for patience. It's okay. When you don't know what to do, it's okay to do nothing. There's something I love in aviation. I heard it once. I don't know where I heard it, but somebody said, okay, if you're in a little airplane and you don't have instruments, you're flying visual. You fly into a cloud bank and you can't see where you're going. You follow the last known coordinates. In other words, you stay straight and level. You stay at the same altitude. You stay in the same direction. You just keep on going because you're going to come out of that cloud. And you're better off being consistent and just sticking with it and not panicking than you are trying to do all sorts of maneuvers to try to get out of that fog. Trying to maneuver out of it when you don't know what you're doing, you're more likely to just crash into the ground faster. So be calm. When you can't see, you be calm. You wait. And the clouds will subside. The other thing that you really have to be careful about is thinking not that things won't happen if you don't rush them, but the things that are good that need to happen won't happen at all. And there's a lot of people that will manipulate you in life. There are employers, there are relationships, there are so many different things. And they will say, if you don't believe what I tell you to believe, if you don't do what I tell you to do, you're going to be ruined and things aren't going to ever work out for you. They're going to say, you have to buy into this now, and it's the one opportunity of a lifetime. If you don't do this, you're going to miss out, and you're never going to have that chance again. It can be somebody telling you to buy the cryptos. It can be somebody telling you that there's no other option for you to find a loving and fulfilling relationship. It can be an employer that's going to say you can't quit because you're never going to find another job that's going to be as good as this one. And the world is filled with people that want to use leverage to manipulate. And it's easy to believe that you don't have options. You can't afford to wait. You can't afford to be patient because you don't actually have hope and abundance in your future. And so you better just settle for something. Even if it's snake oil and it's fake and it's full of lies, you better just settle for it because there's nothing better out there. And that's not true. You're better off having nothing than having a lie, than believing mistruth, than selling out for something that doesn't align with your values. Believe in good things. Believe that there is good in the world. Believe in sharing that good with others. And believe that the universe is a friendly place. Believe in your own good judgment, even when you're tempted to doubt yourself. Understand that there is no surefire answer, and life will be filled with uncertainty. But also understand that whether it seems clear to you or not, the universe is unfolding exactly as it should. And with that knowledge, allow every day to be filled with peace. Don't make excuses. Also, do not live in fear. Believe that there is good in the world. And allow yourself to have a good attitude about all things. Because the truth is, of all the things you could possibly do, to have a good, positive spirit about the life that you have is the single greatest thing you can do. To buy insurance that will safeguard you against all of the adversity and afflictions of life. Thank you for watching.